All right, so greetings from Denver, Colorado. To be honest, I'm a little surprised it's not burned to the ground after the Chargers spanked the Broncos last night. Um, but yeah, I was actually pretty stoked. I had the opportunity to watch the entire Thursday night football game, and Chargers are my team, and I was going to Denver that night, so it was pretty cool overall. So to kind of pick up from where I left off, I was in Houston. I didn't really have an empty, and after waiting around for a while and getting thrown around the night before and that day looking for one, they told me to just bobtail. So I went from Houston to a small town called Evadale, Texas, and then up to Denton, which is a little north of Dallas. Um, on that trip, I saw a lot of animals, a lot of deer, um, like a mother, a fawn, a mother, a couple fawns, and my habit whenever I see any animal on the side of the road that's alive, I'll honk. I'll pull that thing and just kind of scare them, and hopefully they'll run off. And usually they do. Uh, First few deer ran off. The second one, the mom just kind of propped up her ears and just watched me roll by. Um, and then, believe it or not, I saw some commotion on the side of the road, and it was four wild pigs, like eating something. Someone must have thrown out their car or truck or something. That was weird. Never seen any wild pigs. But anyway, so then the third group of deer that I see, I see a few, I honk, I see a few more, I honk, and there's a car not too far up ahead of me. And I think my honking kind of threw them off, and they actually ended up slowing down a bit. So as they're slowing down, I go to pass them, and then they actually come upon a deer that had just been mutilated across the road. So he kind of hits his brakes as I'm trying to go around him. Kind of freaked me out a bit. I kind of hit the shoulder and hit the ribbed, um, shoulder lining, and it was a little freaky on my end. But but anyway, so I finally make it to Dallas. The aftermath of the storm. All the freaking brown snow piled up on the side of the roads, and I get to the delivery, and I actually have to end up turning around a bit, and I kind of hit a little icy area, and I was turning right, and my truck was going left, and I was pretty stoked that I was not having to drive on that, but just turn around really slowly. But it kind of indicated how freaky ice can be. So, but anyway, yeah, these guys at that customer, they didn't really use their green light, the red light, green light, move in or back in and back out only on green light. They didn't use that at all, so I was kind of just hanging out. Even though I knew they were probably done, I could feel it, but there was another Swifty there, ended up banging on my door. He's like, "Dude, go give him your paperwork." He's kind of a jerk. I was like, "All right, dude, thanks, man." But anyway, so I ended up running out of hours with that, so I had to kind of creep across the street and park, which was all good and fine. And then I woke up because I had a load offer, and at first I thought it said Englewood, California. I was like, sweet, going back to California, avoiding the weather. And then it was actually two stops. This first stop was Englewood, California. The second stop was Denver, Colorado. And I was like, how is that possible? Turns out it's Englewood, Colorado, not Englewood, California. I kind of just saw what I wanted to see. But so I got that. I confirmed it. I went back to sleep. I did not set my alarm, and I ended up waking up probably 38 minutes before I was due to pick it up. So my 10 hours, I was at like 10:19, and my internal clock woke me up. So I was pretty stoked on that. It's happened to me once before where I forgot to set an alarm, or I took a nap, and so thank God for the internal clock aspect of it. But yeah, so I was not going to Englewood, and I even made a joke to my driver leader. I was looking at it at the wrong angle, Engle, Englewood. But anyway, so I got up just in time. I made my way. I actually had a little bit of time. There's a truck stop right off the exit for the pickup. So I cleaned my windows. I got a Subway because it was at one of those high priority loads or high value loads where you couldn't stop within 200 miles once you got it. So I was really hungry. I knew I wanted to get some food, and I made it to the shipper just in time. And turns out they weren't even ready. So I ended up having you had to pretty much park your truck or park the trailer, go around the building, check in. I had to park my bobtail outside till they were done. But there's kind of a funny story going into it. As I'm walking in, or as I'm driving in, there's one truck ahead of me, and it's this girl, and she's having some trouble sliding her tandems because I guess you got to slide them all the way to the rear. And in my habit, I'm sure most people that have dealt with this before, um, this was the first indication that this girl must be new. She was sliding her tandems right then and there before even going in, which, it's a little bit more difficult to back in a trailer and get all that done with them slid all the way back. So the fact that she was doing it right at the gate, that kind of threw me a flag of this girl's new. And then she couldn't get it to lock. She couldn't pull the pin and get it to lock so she could get in the truck and move it. So I said, hey, you want me to help you out? I was already going in to check in. So I held it, and she's walking to the truck, and I was like, all right, just don't rip my arm off. And so I'm holding it, and she starts going and going and going and gaining speed and not slowing down in any way, shape, or form. And I'm sitting here like, dude. And then she freaking slams it, and there's actually ice that's encrusted underneath her trailer. And so between the slamming motion, all the ice fell, and I knew it wasn't going to hurt you or you're not going to lose your arm, but it kind of just like, dude, here I am helping out this chick, and I don't want to freaking get hurt. Um, but so that was the big indicator of, all right, this girl A was sliding her tandems, B, she was doing it too quick. So then it was like, all right. So I get in, they tell me to park the trailer at spot 160, bobtail around. So I make my way around the building, and as I turn, around the building, there's a truck, pretty much 90-degree, almost jackknifing to turn around. And what do you know? It's that same girl going back the other way. And she waves to me, I wave to her. My spot 160 is full, which happens, so I parked it in the next available one, 154. So I'm bobtailing out. There's that girl passing me again, still with her trailer. So pretty much reading between the lines on that, she must have seen that her spot was not available, drove all the way down to the front to say, hey, my spot's not available. And they said, hey, take whatever one's there. So, boom, there's the third indication that this girl's new. So I finally am around on the right side. I'm all checked in. I'm waiting to get in there, get my load. I finally get hooked up. It's actually my first non-dually trailer. It's my first slider door. It's my first ultralight trailer. So it was a little weird, like hitting the tires with the thumper, and you don't have to hit two. You just hit one. It was just kind of a trip. Not a big trip, but it was something new. But anyway, so getting out of this place, they're backed up. There's about a line of 8 trucks to get out of this place. And once I finally get to the front, I'm behind one single truck, and this is LG Electronics. You got to use load locks. They even said if you get there and you don't have load locks, you get a service failure. And so here's this truck in front of me. They walk around to check the seal and to peek inside the trailer, make sure it's all good. And what do you know? It's that same girl. And what do you know? I can read the situation between her and the lady that's checking her out. She did not put on her load locks. After sitting in line for over half an hour, had all the time in the world to do it. I did mine while I was waiting. So I see this happening, and usually it's not like a chivalry thing. Oh, hey, this girl needs help again. It was like, dude, you're going to make me late and everyone else later than they need to be because you didn't do what you need to do when you had time to do it. So what did I do? I jumped out and I offered to throw on her load locks. So I get it all done. I even said, hey, you got to kind of put these in at an angle, hyperextend them, and then kind of slam it down because the walls, kind of, they shake and shudder while you're on the road. So she's like, no, I didn't know that. So it's just like boom, 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 boom. This girl's new. Either way, I was happy to help. I was finally getting out of there. Finally, I make my way to Amarillo that night, and I actually had almost 20 hours off because with the pickup time and the delivery time, so I was able to sleep in all day, got up in time to take a shower, trim up, and then watch the entire Charger Bronco Thursday night football game. So I was pretty stoked. Chargers won, and then at about 10:30 I made my way to Denver, where I'm at now. I was a little bit early again, so when I got here I ended up taking about an hour and a half nap, and then woke up and rocked and rolled and got everything done. And now they are sending me to Salt Lake City. The only thing is, when they offered me the load, it didn't have a destination time appointment yet. It turns out it's not due till Tuesday morning. So I'm hoping that I can get a T-called. I'm hoping I can deliver it earlier, because otherwise I'll have to take over 2 days off. So not too stoked on that. My driver leader knows that, but we're trying to figure it out. So that's where I'm at now. Denver going to Salt Lake City.